A very good morning to you, Nigerians. It really feels good to have you join us in U45, our morning show. I'm Adinki Owoye Ajiboye, and another warm welcome to our Wednesday edition of the program.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good to be here. U45 morning show. It's the 15th day of November, and the month is flying so fast already.
Truly, it is. We're almost getting to the end of the month. Good morning, Nigerians. I'm Patience Willie. Welcome to the U45 Morning Show.
Of course, on U45 Morning Show, you know how we hope to drive you on the program. Today, we will be letting you know about our tags and trends, what is going on, what is happening in the country. You need to be aware of it. Yes, we're also aware that there is a nationwide strike, but how the level of compliance is what we cannot really say. Well, we'll be talking about this in the course of the program, and of course we'll also be looking at health issue. You know how important health is. Let's say health is a wealth. All right, about now we'll take a short break, and when we return it will be time for us to look at what the dailies is saying.
Welcome back, and many thanks if you're just joining us. So many things have been happening in the country so far in the past few days, and we have to look at the papers to keep us abreast with the news. On the Nigerian Tribune, the major headline says, Labour strike kicks off. And the writer says, ports, schools, banks, NAS complex, others suffer. Another writer says, train operations also affected. There's another writer that also says serious compliance in Edo, Bauchi, Osun, Kogi, Imo, and others. There's another writer that also says partial strike in Oyo, Ondo, Kaduna, Benue, and Ogun. National grid intact. Supply bulk electricity to discos. TCN, that's another writer. On the same story, the last writer says, reconsider your action, FG tells workers. Now, yesterday we were being threatened with the fact that the national grid was going to go down, and now it's still intact. What's your take on this,
you see, the way it is, if you even take a look around, you realize that there seems not to be unity in regards to this very strike. Of course, we saw that the National Assemblies was shut yesterday. Of course, the workers were stranded. There wasn't work. But in other areas, like in Lagos State, our cast is still moving and all of that. But let's also remember that it is a warning strike. And I think there is a misconception about the reason for this very strike. A lot of people feel that basically it's about fighting the cause of the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress. And now we need to make this clear to people that it is not just about the brutality, meted on the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC President Comrade Joe Ajaero. It is also to demand the rights of workers, because I've felt the pulse of many people, and I realized this is the main thing people kept on, they kept harping on, forgetting the fact that it is the cause for everybody. Yes, the Ajaero's own might be leading it,
might be the trigger.
But do not forget that prior to Comrade Ajaero being beaten, they had said they were going to go on strike, and that the strike was suspended as a result of the negotiation between the organized labor and the federal government. So that's what I think should be cleared. But the way it is, it seems that there is no full compliance. I mean, look at the TCN now saying that they are not, that they are going to supply power, right?
Yes. Because the national grid is still intact.
And
is supplying bulk electricity
to
discos.
And many of us were afraid yesterday thinking that, okay, there's going to be total blackout. But that's not the case. But I want to also confirm to you that in Kwara State, it's a different ball game, because the TCN, alongside other unions, went around picketing and telling all the staff that they have to comply with the strike action.
Then another story says, Atiku calls for opposition measures to dislodge APC. This can be found on page 2. Strong on his getting back his mandate, dictatorship.
Well, you see, the talk about a one-party system has been on before now. And somehow it's gradually looking like the country is tilting towards one party, which is, of course, the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, APC. But, you know, what we should also look at is how strong is PDP itself to ensure that its members are not also frolicking with the ruling party. So this, for me, it's a problem of stomach infrastructure, basically, and individuals' greed. It is now about what can I gain. It seems the PDP isn't as vibrant as it used to be, so why not let me join the moving train, and we can see that in what happened in the case of the FCT minister. I'm talking about Wike. Wike. You saw that Wike. I mean, because I've been looking at him, even political analysts. I've also been looking at him. How would you be in PDP and you're also
allegiance to APC?
Allegiance to APC. You know, the unrest is also, even if you are aggrieved with the party on the basis that you were supposed to get the presidential ticket. But is that enough? You are also in this government of the All Progressives Congress, APC. So this, for me, shows that you are more in APC than PDP. And so other party members, I mean party loyalists, we begin to, read the handwriting on the wall. And so they too will gradually say, let us move to the ruling party. I think really this is not good for us as a nation. It is not healthy, because I can remember past years when the People's Democratic Party, PDP, were strong, were in power. The APC was a very strong opposition party. They will do everything to ensure the statements are made on daily basis, that we fight every intimidation, and ills of the society. So I think my appeal today to the PDP and all the parties is for them to rise up to the occasion of being a very strong opposition party, because as it is, Nigerians are very angry, and we need people to put government on their toes. Of course, as the first estate, as members of the fourth estate of the RAM, we are doing our part, but the political parties too should begin to put them. Now, so what's your take on
this? It seems as if Atiku is the only one fighting and standing, holding his ground for PDP.
Yeah, absolutely. I must commend Atiku. He's been consistent in the past few months, and he feels that the election and the way our politicians are handling everything, he has been there for a while. Now Nikki has been talking about how party members, our politicians, especially in Nigeria, that has been our culture in the past few years. We see cross carpeting. That's been the order of the day. Politicians want to recognize or show allegiance to the ruling party. When PDP was in charge, was in the helm of affairs in Nigeria, we saw how other political parties were rubbing shoulders with PDP, and now it's APC. So it's not surprising. We've been saying this, from time immemorial. Nigerian politicians don't understand how to play this politics. Politics is a dirty game. It's in quotes. It doesn't mean that it's a dirty game. You get, so they just keep cross-carpeting. They don't know the dividends and the rules of democracy. So I'm not surprised that the likes of Wike, who is a PDP follower, is
pledging allegiance to
APC. Yeah. Why? Because that's the ruling party. That's where the meal is being served. And I mean, it's quite unfortunate for our democracy, as we can see. It's affecting, our democracy.
There's another story that says OIC, that is Organization of Islamic Countries, selects Nigeria as special delegate to halt Gaza conflict. This can be found on page 7. Remember we discussed Naik Malik?
Yes, exactly.
Coming to Nigeria and calling the Nigerian army the Muslim army, the Air Force the Muslim. Are they trying to say that Nigeria is now a Muslim country? Because we have been delegated by Organization of Islamic Country, OIC.
Well, from the look of things, it appears that this seems to be the case, because we have seen this very Naik Malik coming out to say that Nigeria is an Islamic nation, and of course we have been talking in this country. A lot of people have also been saying that there's an agenda to Islamize Nigeria. So I feel that this is a pointer. This is a wake-up call also for. And why would we even say that Nigeria is not a Muslim country? I'm sorry, but from the look of things, I mean, those are the aim of affairs. Fly or flee rather. Muslim tickets. So what are we talking about? Most likely, we are a kind of country or nation that pretends a lot.
We can see the handwriting on the wall right from when the Muslim ticket was introduced. A lot of Nigerians have been calling on the government that it could be an Islamic agenda. Now it's been days when this dude came up and was calling our military, it's Muslim military,
Air Force, Customs,
and no, like I always said, nobody has been arrested.
Its liabilities and assets.
Well, I'm not surprised. It was the same story when Buhari came on board. He said the Jonathan government left nothing for him. Now Tinubu is coming on board and he's saying the Buhari government left nothing for him. I mean, what's wrong with our politicians?
You know what? This is quite interesting, really. It's intriguing, and you ask me why. I think the patient, she didn't even go through the rider. The rider is also a pointer to what we were just talking about.
It says negotiate.
It said negotiate multi-billion infrastructure funding with Islamic Bank. And now I just said that we're the kind of nation that we don't practice what we preach. We put something else forward, but behind Nigeria being an Islamic nation or not, and we have also been selected, to intervene in the war. It tells you the nation. I said, excuse me, are you kidding me? This is a continuum, right? Exactly. It is assets. I think there is need for us to go through that story to know what exactly the president is saying. Because if the president is saying he inherited this, it is an extension of his government. Let's call a spade and let's talk to ourselves frankly this morning.
Yes.
It is an extension of his government.
Definitely.
If you tell us that, it means that you're telling us there's something wrong in the All Progressive Congress APC.
And they're not fit to be governing Nigeria. You remember
Exactly, I was going to say that.
Exactly.
So you can see the president campaigning against his own party.
Now he's saying something else. He said he was going to work on improving what Buhari.
I just don't know. I think you just need to read that story so that we know exactly what the president. Because if it had been another political party, say PDP, that was there, I would have raised eyebrow. And he said, "This is my concern. I've always worried about the fact that we come out to say that so amount of monies, huge funds are being seized from a from a public officer, and at the end of the day,
there's no accountability.
Where are all of these monies? How has all of these monies affected our economy positively? I think a lot of investigation and transparency needs to come out in all of this, because
especially not disbursing money to Nigeria from the spirit realm. Constantly.
Oh yes,
billions
that's true.
of dollars.
Former head of state,
we don't see what these monies are being used for. Nobody's accountable. Nobody has come out to say the Abacha loot, this is what we have been using it for. Nobody's saying anything.
And that's all I can take on the Nigerian Tribune.
And to the Daily Independent, quickly, it says Labour shuts down compound, risk for Nigeria's economy. The writer says banks, NAS, ports, schools, government offices, hospitals shut down. Labor rights, civil opposition under siege. CSOs lament. We did not obey court order on strike. NLC, TUC. Your strike is misplaced. Oshomole tells NLC, TUC. You can see the back and forth when it comes to this strike. Still goodness. On the Daily Independent. CBN lifts restriction on old Naira banknotes as legal tender beyond 2023.
Didn't I say it? I said it on this program that it is not even certain. The fact that you talked about cash not being in circulation and all of that, and I said the thing is you find out that at the end of the day, Will even says that indeed what has been said will be what will obtain. And now is that not CBN telling us Absolutely. That the deadline has already been So Nigerians keep spending the old Naira note. Who knows? Maybe what will happen eventually is the new Naira note that would now be
withdrawn from circulation. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness!
Nigeria. Anything can happen. Still on the Daily Independent. Guba elections. INEC has completely derailed PDP. The writer says, ask Anyanwu to step aside as party national secretary. And Kogi, INEC debunks alleged manipulation of accreditation data on IRF. That's on page 7. Kogi polls, APC thanks electorate, condemns alleged opposition's crime against democracy. That's on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Climate change is real. Threat to our existence, according to Shetima. The writer says, as Presidential Committee on Flood submits report, there's a looming climatic change coming to Nigeria. And lastly, on the Daily Independent, it says, Aviation Minister canvasses African leader support for full SAATM implementation. And that's on page 6 of the Daily Independent.
And now to the Punch newspaper, the front headline, the major front headline here reads, government knocks labor. Strike records partial compliance. And the writer here reads, Tinubu not behind attack on Ajero, escalating strike nationwide unreasonable. This is accredited to the Rivers, Kwara, Bauchi workers shun labor. Kano, Edo, Delta, Akwa Ibom, others comply. Gentlemen, this is what I was saying, that there seem not to be, full compliance with the nationwide strike. And it's been stated here by the Punch newspaper, Lagos, Rivers. But of course, if you look at it very well, we wouldn't even expect less. Do you expect Lagos to join the strike? When the sitting president is former governor of Lagos State, so there will be a form of authority enforcement that he can still assert from the seat of power, from the federal seat of power. And another is also Rivers. Rivers, this is they are beneficiary of this very government. Of course, Wike is the former governor also of Rivers State. So what do you expect? You don't expect less, because there would have been a warning for them to talk to the workers in their state to ensure that they are not complying with this very strike action. Then Kwara, of course, Kwara is also an APC state as it is at the moment. Ododo is the one that Usman Ododo won as the governor. So and then Bauchi. So these are also APC strongholds states. So it is expected. So if you look at all these,
like
let's keep our fingers crossed and see how events will unfold.
Well, I think INEC is not being explicit with their demands, in my opinion.
You mean NLC?
NLC, I mean, sorry. NLC is not being explicit with their demands. Nigerian workers.
No, I don't think it's about NLC not being clear. They are clear already about their demands. But it's just that atop it is the latter, which was what happened lastly, which was the fact that the president was beaten. Before the president was beaten,
they has been
exactly.
Now, but their demands are actually stating, their demands is hinged on the fact that Ajero was beaten.
No.
They are really okay. Let me read out their demands. Number one, arrest and prosecute Mr. Chinas Anwaneri, the SA on special duties, the deadly gang leader of Hope, Uzodin Mathos. He led the attack against workers on that day. You can see that it's geared towards beating Ajero. Number two, arrest, prosecute, and dismiss all police officers involved. Prosecute and dismiss Chief Security Officer, Imo State Government House, SP Shaba. He led, participated and provided cover for talks. So you can see it's all about, I can read all 6 of them.
You have to also look at it from the angle of you need to look at the communique. Right here in the studio, we looked at the communique where they stated all of the reasons or demands that is leading to the nationwide strike. It is not just this. Do not forget. I'm sure what you're reading from must be from the paper. This is
this is from
exactly communique signed by NLC.
Yes, it has their logo on it.
Yes, that's just part of what they're saying.
Here's my point, Mike.
Okay.
Nigerians are a bit,
divided.
Exactly, because what are these? Or they are fighting for their president.
Okay.
NLC should come out straight. What are they really fighting for? It's all mixed up. If you see what the dailies are talking about, the former Oshomole is saying your strike does not hold waters.
What do you? No, excuse me, please. No. I want to make my views known here. You talked about Oshomole, like, excuse me, are you for real? Oshomole used to be a comrade. He was a former NLC president,
yes,
and is now a politician.
Yes.
A politician who we need to also look at the background he's coming from. A former gaining from organized labor at this moment, then it means it's going to cost him something in the party. Because it will mean that he is also supporting them. Do not forget that in the last NLC Congress held, in which Ajero became the president, he came there and he was advocating for the sitting president Tinubu that he should should be the one telling us this.
The call out for the president being beaten is outweighing the need for workers.
In any case, if the president of the NLC has been beaten, are you saying it is right? Are you saying that
it is not right? It's absolutely not right.
Of recent, Falano SAN came out to say that torture is going on in Nigeria continuously, and that the judges will begin to visit every police station. Many Nigerians that have been, abandoned, treated inhumanely. Do you understand? There's a lot of things going on. So for them to even dare to beat the number one worker of this very country, I think you should not say this to the latter. If this is not even being fought to the latter, it means you and I, anybody can be beaten anytime.
Throwing their weight on the fact that Ajero was beaten. This strike is not gaining.
They said they had come to.
It was not cancelled.
Okay,
let's suspend the word.
Suspended. Are we sure we'll be going on strike? That's the point.
If Ajero
had not been beaten, are you sure NLC will be calling for strike for Nigerian workers?
And another area that should also be cleared is that a lot of people also feel, in fact, there are allegations out there that the reason they had the infantry to beat the NLC president is because he has taken bribe to actually
partisan.
He's been partisan, and that he took bribe in order to suspend the strike then. So now, the way it has happened now, they are now at loggerheads. Let's see how events going to turn out in such a way that we will be able to know that if the presidency actually gave a form of bribe to Ajero, all of this will come to the open. So I think it's healthy for all. Let's see how this is going to end.
Seriously, because they feel this is just a mere tussle for power.
Yeah. All right, if you say so. So let's move on. Still same with the Punch newspaper. Another headline here reads, 35 million naira needed to return body of Nigerian students. This is according to a ministry. You find that story on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Sacked agencies and members sue Adeleke. Another headline atop Punch newspaper reads, elections over, reform economy now, NPA tells President Tinubu. You'll find that story on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Another story reads, CBN extend old Naira notes deadline indefinitely. That's on page 14. That's on page 11 of the Punch newspaper. And lastly, on the Punch newspaper, Atiku canvasses merger to oust the All Progressives Congress APC. I think a Punch is more direct
to the
in
point.
This very story of Atiku fighting his cause. Atiku canvasses merger to oust APC. It means that Atiku still has not given up. He still feels that something can be done. And this is where we now begin to look at it from the angle of, is this desperation, or is this a fight for good governance of Nigeria? Because we really need to look at this, because it is calling for merger. Do not forget that even the All Progressives Congress APC were able to come to power via mergers. So exactly. So let's see how that is going to turn out. What do you guys think?
Well, when it comes to Nigerian politicians, you cannot really tell their true interest. You know, you cannot tell whether Atiku is truly fighting for democracy or it's just a tussle for power, for political power and ambition. You know, so we just have to keep our fingers crossed. But I think it's also good for our political
politics.
For our politics in Nigeria, because we've been talking about too many political parties, you know, and then not seem to have a clear direction of what they want. If Atiku is coming to say, okay, let's merge to be able to oust APC, I mean, I think it might just be good for Nigerian politics. Or what do you think, Pat?
Yes, mergers are good, but we should also encourage new parties to spring up, more vibrant, youthful parties to spring up, to take up the mantle of leadership.
All right. Okay. Our viewers, this is all we will be taking on the dailies this morning. I'll try to get a copy of all of these papers, The Punch, The Guardian, A Daily Independent, and a host of others, so that you can also be well informed about happenings in the country and beyond. So right about now, we will take a short break, and when we return, it will be time for us to look at matters arising with our guests. So join us again.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country, and wetin you sef want make your country do for you. You need to give something before you take something. Now the only way matter fit balance. Not be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth, make we build our country. Not be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area, and you want make plenty eyes see and make you hear and make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen with there, and my name now Mr. Peace, that MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no.
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head, and if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? And don't you dare repeat that again.
What is she doing?
I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat.
Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food? The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh my son! Oh my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
High Chief Major General Jones. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please. What are you doing out of bed?
I needed a drink.
You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief. And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my house and sold it. And I swear, he's going to rot in jail.
It's okay, baby.
It's not okay.
Hello? Hello?
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
It is always good to live in peace with our neighbor.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yay! 25 years.
When people from different backgrounds live together, there is bound to be dispute of boundary, shared amenities. Your favorite TV comedy drama is now wearing a new look as Face to Face rebranded.
Hi, Ajani.
Yes, guy.
There is problem in the house. Your brother wife, the carry man, come house.
Like,
baby,
baby. Wait. I've been expecting this. I've been expecting this.
Starring your favorite star actors, Face to Face rebranded.
Mama Sule, if you don't get this, your rubbish off my precious baby now, I will throw it away.
It's Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most. Ricky is a virgin. Why are you bro? Virginity.
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really see my body.
Where's the eat a lot?
You don't see my body. That's the special thing.
What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paula. Tunde.
No.
Like I tell people, it's for you to be great in whatever you do. You have to stay humble and believe that you are a learner.
Have you ever been asked to play a romantic role?
Of course, I've played romantic roles.
Hi, my name is Yabojo, and you're watching Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru.
The second half. Revolution! Moses. The long lineal line.
It's lights out and away we go. Bottas gets away well. He's alongside Lewis Hamilton and he's making good progress. Sebastian Vettel all the way through. Will they retire from?
Moses. Nigeria looking much more promising in the second half. Revolution!
confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true PM? Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation together with talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Denola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Friday.
Lẹ́nu ó dùn lẹ́nu bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ta lẹ́nu kì tó dùn tó kì tó yí gbogbo ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday 8:30 to 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday 1 to 2 fún ẹ̀.
Do say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth make we build our country. No be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eye see am, make you hear am, make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen we dey and my name na Mr. Peace, that MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that dial, make your finger for no.
Reach to the sky, ladies and gentlemen.
Demand attitude.
I am Salahuddin.
Demand excitement. Demand action.
You're still watching U45 Morning Show, and it feels good to have you back. It is about the time, well, we'll look at matters arising. This time around, we want to look at DNA paternity test in Nigeria. How reliable is this very test in the country? What is the consistency? And can we also want to look at the implications, of course, on many families, because we've witnessed where families have been, homes have been broken as a result of this test. The most recent is the one that a woman came out, and the DNA paternity test goes to show that all the 4 children she claims she bore for the husband are not his. So this is where we are. Right about now, we are being joined by a medical practitioner. Join me to welcome Dr. Afolabi Obey to the program. Dr. Afolabi Obey, good morning. Many thanks for coming on your 45 morning show.
Yeah, good morning, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, quickly, Doc, would want you to first give us the background history of DNA paternity tests.
Well, thank you. The background to DNA paternity testing generally would mean that a molecular testing to determine, the genetic profile of individual. And that is what DNA testing is all about. Now, when you now say paternity testing, it now means that the genetic profiling to determine who the true father of, someone is. And it is actually quite very sensitive and accurate laboratory investigation, because it's looking at the genetic profile of individual. So that is the background to DNA testing.
But of course, DNA paternity test is believed to be nearly 100% accurate at determining whether a man is another person's biological father. We have witnessed situations where, of course, the most recent is a wife came out. I mean, the DNA test shows that the 4 children the woman bore for that man are not his. And now this brings us to the question, how accurate can we say DNA test being conducted in Nigeria is?
Well, you have actually asked 2 questions, and I'm going to separate those 2 questions. The first question is, how accurate is DNA testing? I would say that DNA testing is accurate. The next question is, from your question is, how accurate is DNA testing in Nigeria? Well, that is a subjective question. But I do know that if DNA testing is done correctly, paternity testing now, if paternity testing is done correctly, fulfilling all the standard operating procedure, international best practices, then you can say that DNA paternity testing in Nigeria is quite accurate. But I cannot speak for that holistically. I can only speak for that for my organization, that I know what we do. And I can say on that premise that DNA testing done in my organization, it is accurate, like you would found in other clients. I think that answers your question.
In the case of paternity fraud, where children and even parents, some type of division in the family, what would you advise fathers who have suffered from paternity fraud? Because some of them can become mentally unstable. Imagine investing time, resources, and money on the child, and then to find out that years after that the child is not yours. So what would you advise parents who are currently battling mental health issues due to paternity fraud in Nigeria?
Well, my advice is divided into three. Number one, for you to conclude that the results of the DNA test is valid, that you want to stand by it, you must be sure that the paternity testing is done correctly and is done by laboratories that you can vouch for. And there are standard procedures. I mean, let me just run through them. Number one thing is that when these parties come, they must come together. Not one coming taking sample today, another one taking sample tomorrow. Both of them must come together. They must present their means of identification. Right. If it's a minor, cases of a minor, means of identification, you should be able to synchronize the name with the person presenting. All parties from which sample is going to be collected must agree to the test. They must have their unique ID codes. Samples must be collected in the presence of everyone. Samples must be collated, sealed, and signed on by every party. The modality of collection of results should be agreed on at the point of collection. These are standard pre-analytical issues. And there are also standard analytical issues. Of course, the parties may not know this, and that is why people should go to laboratories that have standard. There are global standard for laboratories. And then post-analytically, modalities of results collection should also have been stated at the point of presenting for sample collections. These are standard global practices. And these are standards that the courts, would want to abide by when paternity testing becomes a legal issue. So on one side, before you allow a paternity to begin to have a psychological effect on you, be sure that the results you are carrying is correct. That being said, paternity issue is a complex issue. I mean, for you to start to talk about paternity issues, it means that there must have been high level of suspicion. And of course, this will lead to distrust. And distrust, will lead to a lot of trouble in your mind. And then you want to do paternity testing. When the result comes out, yes, if the result says these children belongs to you, you are happy. However, the trust issue is still there. If the result comes out and say, oh, these children do not belong to you, right? You are sad, but then the distrust remains there. So for me, I think couples should just learn to manage this issue without actually affecting their mental status. I mean, I'm speaking for myself now, maybe just my own opinion, right? I will say that, no matter how strong the man is, it has a way of, this issue has a way of affecting your mental status. And it could leave a long-lasting impact in one's life. Why do you have to go through that route? Maybe some of us believe that any children that is under your roof, take them as your own. Train them. Manage the situation rather than blowing it up. It will not only affect you and the woman, it also affects the children. Except it becomes so dirty and unredeemable. I feel, my opinion, couples should try and manage this because of the antecedent impact on their mental status the mental status of the children, um, issues of societal issues, stigmatization, and all the rest. So I would personally feel like couples should find a way of managing this, without going that route.
I would like to quote in here, Doctor. What are the limitations of DNA paternity testing in Nigeria?
Well, the limitation I would say is because our diagnostic centers are not well regulated. Our diagnostic centers, most of them are not following international best practices. Right. A lot of these people conduct these tests, they may not follow the standard practices. That will be, the limitations. So if there are regulations and people stand by regulations, I mean, paternity testing is a molecular testing. As we speak globally, sequencing that is used for paternity testing is still the best modality of testing. So ordinarily, the limitations are more of pre-analytical issues rather than analytical issues.
I want to ask you this question now directly. Two questions in one actually. The question is, what can actually mess up paternity tests? That's number one. Number two, talking about restrictions, is there any age or are there age restriction to paternity test? I'm talking about the age of the children.
Well, a few things can mess up paternity testing, and this messing up more often than not will return with no results, and you have to go back and take the sample. For example, if you're using buccal swab, it is expected that the person should not have taken anything before that time. And because most of the things will take, everything has its own DNA. Right. And so, say someone just ate or chewed something some 20-30 minutes before the buccal swab, they may be having two separate DNA, being analyzed from that point. And so you'll advise that the person should not take anything, probably drink water some 30-40 minutes before that. Samples that are taken directly from blood, if you have done the proper cleaning, you would not going to have anything affecting the results. The issues we have, I would say, with DNA, paternity testing, is more of humans manipulation, not the sampling per se. Right. That answers your first question. And the second question, please, can you remind me? I think that skipped my mind.
The second question is, is there age restriction in conducting DNA paternity test, specifically the children?
So right, there are no age restriction. From day 2-3 of life, you can conduct paternity testing. Even for during pregnancy, DNA testing, paternity testing can be conducted. It's just that some of the procedures are quite invasive. Right. Apart from that, there are no age restrictions to DNA testing. You can do non-invasive prenatal diagnostics. You take the blood sample of that of the mother at about ages over 10-15 weeks. Right. Then you compare that with that of the mother and the alleged father. Right. And even though, I mean, the success rate of that is limited. Why? Because you may not have sufficient fetal, that's on one side. But then if you go directly to collect sample from the amniotic fluid, that's amniocentesis, that's a bit invasive because sometimes women could lose the pregnancy from that procedure. or you go in to collect the chorionic villus sampling, going to collect small sample from the plant center. These are quite accurate. You can compare the accuracy to, children when they are already born, so samples can be collected at any age, even from during pregnancy. But then it's just that are there. I think that answers your question.
Exactly. So now, doctor, of course, this program is to inform, educate, entertain Nigerians. And now let's look at the price, because a lot of people feel that the price of a DNA paternity test is quite huge. I would like you to clear the air on this. From what range are we looking at when it comes to price? That's number one question. And now number two question is, as a medical practitioner, given your position at your very medical facility, while a woman is pregnant and you go for your antenatal care, basically, you are being told that certain things are major requirement. To test your sugar, all of those tests you're asked to do, scan and what have you. Why can't we have a situation where a DNA paternity test will also be part of the requirement before delivering a baby? Or do you think this should be the way forward?
Okay, well, thank you for the question. The price. Well, I would answer the question this way. What is what's doing at all? What's doing well? If you have a need to do paternity, be sure that you are doing it in the right place, and be sure it is done in such a way that the results, you can vouch for it. And to get that done, it attracts costs. And I can speak for my, organization, because we ensure due processes and we do everything to ensure that the results we release are results that we can stand by. The results that you come back to repeat is still going to be like that. All of these things do not come for free. So I will say that the cost, it's a subjective thing. It's a subjective thing. And because of what you want to achieve, the cost really should not be a problem. And it's actually not too expensive, actually. I'm sure that if you're doing it for two individual, a child and alleged father, I'm sure it's still less than 300,000 naira. Right, I'm sure it's still quite less than 300,000 naira. If you're doing it for 3-4, then you can multiply it at that way. So I don't think that is expensive compared to, what we intend to achieve. That's on one side. Yes. So make a paternity testing a routine. There is no medical justification for that. A woman is pregnant. The aim during antenatal is to ensure 1, safe delivery. 2, perhaps the woman has some infection that are transmissible, to prevent this transmissible infection. And then for the mother to be fine and the baby to be fine post-delivery. And paternity testing do not fit into any of this. Like all the tests that you mentioned, the blood level, you want to find out hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Perhaps this woman has had it before pregnancy. You want to be sure, you want to prevent this baby, from having hepatitis. Then you prepare the woman that after delivery, there is a vaccine you are going to take to help mop up, this infection before the child, takes the normal vaccine. So these are some of the things we do, during antenatal. So paternity testing do not law or a policy, And of course, don't also forget that a lot of things are changing in the medical space. There are various modalities of managing fertility now. There are egg donors, there are sperm donors, couples have signed consent for this. Why do you need to make a policy for someone to do paternity testing, whereas the person has gone to the sperm bank to get a sperm, or she's gone to the egg bank to get a egg? You know, I really think that may not be necessary in this country for close to two decades now.
Close to how many years?
2
decades. Wow.
I must commend your vast experience in medicine in Nigeria. That brings me to my next question, Dr. Afolabi. Now, have there been issues while you are doing your job? Have there been issues of legal implications where parents have had issues with paternity test fraud and they want to go to court? And what does the Nigerian and judiciary system have in place in terms of paternity fraud in Nigeria?
You know, except maybe I'm on leave or something, the paternity results. One thing I've come to realize over time is that when cases get to court and the court is also not sure of the results, maybe the other lawyers, you know, is also doubting the authenticity, which copies are also filed with us for reference and future cases, and samples are individual are given specific, you know, laboratory identification number and color coding, because it is completely, you know, anonymized. No name is written, you know, as it were, but it can be interpreted with the unique ID card and the color coding. And then the modality of result collection should also be agreed to at the point of collection. Is it one person that is coming to collect the result? Is it two individuals? Or are we sending the sealed copy will be open at the court and will be interpreted? You know, this is also what the Nigerian law, you know, with my own little understanding and experience with the text, you know, would want to stand. Cases from US, cases from UK. We've had a couple even from Canada. You know, from the open courts, we do a video collection. Everybody, the parties in Nigeria sees what they are doing there. You know, they are also viewing live, and we archive all of these things as evidence in the court. And a pathologist, you know, when need be, also go to the court to interpret, you know, the results of the paternity testing. So I will say that for my organization, we do exactly what the law says, and that is following the standard, you know, the standard operating procedure, which is the global, you know, standard for paternity testing.
All right, Doctor, on that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you for your time with us this morning, and we hope you have a very beautiful day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So, viewers, we have been speaking with Dr. Afolabi Obey. Dr. Afolabi Obey is the Chief Medical Officer at SynLab Nigeria. And, of course, we've been talking about, well, just like, that's based on assumption, children, so that way
you can do it quietly with your, immediate.
You know, because the issues are just becoming too
complicated.
So, before we go, our time is on our side. Let us look at what.
Yes, there's this story in the classroom.
A student,
yes. A
primary school, I believe.
She looks like a primary school student. Like I said, she doesn't look like she's even up to 10 years. From the video, I'd like the producer to just please give us a snapshot of the video of the girl. You can see she's a small child. You can see from the video that she's not an adult. She's a baby, and she's already high on what she's smoking. She's not even smoking cigarettes.
That looks like a weed.
That's marijuana.
Marijuana, yes.
And I'm just, I'm perturbed, honestly. I would like to know where exactly this girl is. Is it southwest?
Southwest.
Sorry. Southwest.
Southwest. Sorry, they were speaking Yoruba.
Well,
asking questions.
Well, Patience, just like you said, if you really want to investigate the background of this kind of girl, it's possible maybe the mother deals with selling of alcoholic drinks, and people come to patronize. The patronizers are always smoking. But you find out that maybe the father is also a smoker, or the mother herself might be a smoker, because I think being they are a group, I would have said maybe it's something that the practice in school. But Kesha she's the only one doing it, and she's not even afraid of being found. So you now begin to look and wonder the home with which this girl grows from.
Absolutely. Talking about the home, you can tell from the environment where she's at that it looks like a ghetto. And you can, kids who are raised in ghettos can pick up various vices. It's quite unfortunate, and we highly condemn this. Parents should protect their children. This girl should be in school. She shouldn't be exposed to things like this. Even for adults, it's unhealthy, let alone for a child.
Honestly. And I think we should also let you know, as children, these are not the kind of people you want to emulate. We need to have values, you understand, inculcate the right values so that our future is bright. Well, guys, time is not on our side. Sorry. This is where many thanks for watching. I'm Adinke Owoye at Jiboye.
I am Osage Solomon Wilfred.
And I'm yours truly, Patience Willie. Have a blessed day.
And from all of us, goodbye and do stay safe.